Good morning, fifth graders. It is Wednesday, April the 29th. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. And this is our last lesson in this packet. Tomorrow is going to be catch up on any work that you might have missed so far. All right, so let's take a look at, it says, why do zombies love brains? What do you think makes brains so appealing to zombies? Perhaps it's because the brain is where our entire body is coordinated, where our memories are stored, and where our senses are interpreted. Learn about your amazing brain on this page. All right, this says anatomy of your brain, or how your brain is made up. So that blue section there, do you see where that top word is pointing to the blue section? That's in control of your movement. And if you look over to the box, it says blue. That's called the frontal lobe. And it's reward, attention, motivation, planning, short-term memory, intelligence, personality, emotions, and logic. That is what controls all of those. Okay? And the thought also. So movement and thought. All of this frontal lobe has to do with all of these things, including down here is speech. Okay? All right. So now the orange lobe, let me find out. Hold on one second. Okay, this orange lobe is called the parietal lobe, and it controls your sensations and taste. So spatial sense, touch, language, navigation, recognition. The green down here is your temporal lobe, and it controls your visual memories, your new memories, sensory input, understanding language, hearing, long-term memory. All right, your purple occipital lobe, perception of motion, space, and color, visual input. So this says vision. All right, coordination is this pink, fine motor control, fear, pleasure, timing. And then the yellow is the brain stem, sleeping, alertness, breathing, eating, heart rate, consciousness, sending signals to and from brain. Okay, so I also see that speech was here, and it's also here, speech and hearing. Okay, and this says coordination. All right, interesting brain facts. All right, this first bullet says the average adult brain weighs 3 pounds, contains around 100 billion neurons, 1 trillion other cells to support the neurons, 100,000 miles of blood vessels, and generates enough electricity to power a low wattage light bulb. Wow, that's amazing. Bullet point 2, the brain is more powerful and complex than even the most advanced supercomputer. Third, sensory neurons send signals that about 150, okay, let me reread that. Sensory neurons send signals, it should say at about 150 miles per hour. And motor neurons can transmit at about 200 miles per hour. Wow. This one, there are no pain receptors in your brain, so it doesn't feel any pain. A bigger brain doesn't mean a smarter person. Albert Einstein's brain was slightly smaller than average. All right, surgeons say the living brain feels a lot like soft tofu. Yum. Oh dear. All right, up here, in the second column, it's also a myth that we use only 10% of our brains. Even though there are still many things we don't know about it, we know that each part of the brain has a purpose. And we just went through all those up here. Your brain only makes up about 2% of your body weight, but uses about 20% of your energy and oxygen. The bursts of light a person sees after hitting their head, in parentheses it says seeing stars, are the result of the brain hitting the back of the skull. The back of your brain is where vision is processed. You can see that up here, right there in the purple. And the last bullet point, it isn't true that your brain stops making connections once you become an adult. The ability to make new neural connections has been seen in adults who have had brain injuries who form connections around the injured area. Fascinating. All right, so this is the first article about the brain. We're going to come back to this a little later. And then here's a second one. And what you're going to end up doing a couple sheets down is comparing the two articles. All right, so this one's called Your Body, the Brain. While scientists, surgeons, and doctors have mapped and studied every part of the body, there is still not much we know about the human brain. Your brain is a powerful, complex, clever organ that deals with hundreds of messages around you. The brain receives messages from many, many nerve cells all through your body. These messages are sparked when you see, hear, smell, touch, taste, and move in your world. Nerve fibers across your body are like computer wires, where information can travel all the way from your little toe to the nerve cells in your brain. The brain is split into two hemispheres, and each hemisphere controls a side of your body. Interestingly, the left side of your brain controls the right side of your body, while the right hemisphere controls the left side of your body. That's very interesting, isn't it, guys? Scientists have sectioned the brain into different lobes based on how they interact with the information around you. The frontal lobe helps you talk, plan ahead, smell, and even solve problems. That's the frontal lobe. You can recognize faces and what people are saying because of the temporal lobe. You can look back up here at where the temporal lobe is, and that was the green, okay? And let's see, the parietal lobe assists with your sense of taste and how you move, while the occipital lobe allows you to see. Your brain is an important organ that helps you live, so be sure to protect it with the right safety gear when you bike or play sports. Brain safety is smart safety. All right, so down here it says you will need crayons, markers, or colored pencils for the following activity. 1. You use this part of the brain to talk, smell, plan, and solve problems. Color this brain lobe green. All right, you can always come back up here or up to the previous article. Let's talk, smell, plan, and solve problems. Well, I see that right here. All right, so you can come up here and it says the frontal lobe helps you talk, plan ahead, smell, and even solve problems. So the frontal lobe, you will color that green. Now, that was a different color on the previous paper, but that's okay. This is a different article, and you're just coloring it what it says to do here. Color that frontal lobe green. That's the part of the brain that controls talk, smell, plan, and solving problems. All right, so, oops, let me move up here. Let me take this off. There we go. Okay, so frontal lobe. Okay, it shows, see, these are two hemispheres. So these would go together. So this is the frontal lobe here. And then this is the frontal lobe, and you do that green. And then you read the rest of these and do that. So 2 says color the brain lobe that controls your vision red. You look back and find that. This part of the brain controls your hearing. Color that brain lobe yellow. Color the brain lobe that helps you move and taste food, blue. So you can go right back up here to all these lobes and it'll tell you exactly what they do to match them up. All right. Then down here, you're going to write, okay, so this is your body, the brain. This one. Let me make it a text box. Okay. All right, so we're going to put, this is the article, your body, your brain. All right. Oh, I'm not going to be able to, hold on, I got to go back up here and see what the first article was called. Your body, the brain, and anatomy of your brain, and your body, the brain. Anatomy of your, okay. All right, here we go. Anatomy of the brain, anatomy of, I think it was your brain, it doesn't matter. Your brain, the brain. And then this one was your body, the brain, I believe. Okay, so your body, the brain. Okay, so what you're going to do here, this is a Venn diagram. You're going to put things that were said in that top article that just belongs in that article here. And then you're going to place things that was just in your body, the brain, the second article here. And then things that were in both goes in here. Well, you know that both mention the different lobes and what they do. So I would put that here. I can't go back and show you because it'll take this off my screen. I think that only in the second one it talked about the hemispheres, but I could be wrong about that. So go back and re-look at what was said. You can go back in the tape and hear what I said about this story, and then this one, and then this is when it was mentioned in both stories. So what you're going to put here was just in the first story, anatomy of your brain. What you're going to put here is what was in the second story, your body, the brain. And what you're going to put in the middle is what was mentioned in both stories or both articles. All right? All right. Let me move on. Okay, so this is called the Frayer model for vocabulary. Okay, so you're going to write your vocabulary word where it says vocabulary term, then complete the rest of the sections for the vocabulary term in your own words. So they don't give you, let's see, let's go back up here. I'm assuming that they are talking about any of these bold printed words, okay, or even these different lobes. All you're going to do is pick one vocabulary word. Okay, and then you're going to put, hold on. All right, well, it's not really clear on the directions here, but you can take any one of the boldface words in one of these articles or any vocabulary word that's in your packet. And you're just doing one. And we've had a lot of new vocabulary throughout your packet so that we're in boldface. So you're just going to write the vocabulary word here. You're going to write a definition here. So you may have to look that up on in your definition or dictionary.com. Then you're going to use the word in the sentence here. Then you're going to give examples of that word, whatever word you pick, examples of it. And then if you draw a picture of it, and then these are non-examples, things that are not examples of your term. Okay? Now, unless your teacher has told you specifically what to do, I would go with that and just pick a term that's somewhere in We read lots of stories, and you can go back and look at one of those and pick one term, just one, to put in there and define and write a sentence and give examples and draw a picture. All right? All right. Well, it looks like that's it for reading for today. And this is the last day of this packet for reading. I'm going to make the math video on a separate video. All right. See you tomorrow.